welcome to my video. Today we're going to be working on the garden shower skylight. Due to the age and the sun, it's starting to get brittle and it's formed a crack which is starting to leak. Fortunately, it was dripping into the shower, so before any damage is done in the ceiling, we're going to go ahead and pull it out. I've already ordered a new one and received it, so we're going to get that out and replace it. So we're going to have a step-by-step video on replacing the garden shower skylight. So anybody that's not familiar with doing that will be able to use this video for informational purposes. So here we have the inside of the garden skylight. There's two pieces to this. There's an inside trim piece that actually has its own little dome. There's 10 screws, I believe, that hold this in place. So we're going to have to take those out, and the screws are a square tip screw. You can see some of the staining where the water's come down, dripping off of the edge of it. So we're going to get all these screws taken out and get this inside piece pulled down, and we'll show you what it looks like on the inside. Alright, so we're going to be using a, I believe it's a number 2 square tip. We're going to remove all the screws from this. To support the one end when you get down to the last screw. So I'm just going to hold my hand up in the middle, take the last screw out, and this whole piece is going to come down. Alright, so as you can see, we've opened it up and we now have the skylight exposed. Alright, so we got the cover off. Now we're going to have to go up on top on the roof. But before we do that, we'll go ahead and get our new skylight out of the box. And as you can see, it's a clear bubble. They got a protective plastic on it. So we'll get that up top and get ready to pull the old one off. Okay, so we got the ladder set. Make sure that you you got it set pretty good. I would recommend using an extension ladder. I guess if you have a tall enough step ladder, that would work too. Extension ladder might be a little safer to work off of. So we're gonna get up top here. So here we go. You can see where the problem is. Right there. That little bad boy, I think maybe a tree branch might have hit it, fractured it. I taped it on the inside real quick while I was coming home just so it wouldn't leak on the way home. So we gotta peel off the sealer and get that all peeled off to access the screws. And once we do that, we can pull all the screws out and start with the removal of the old dome. Okay, here we are up on the roof, and what we need to do is all this self-leveling sealer, we need to get this peeled off. There's screws underneath these, so we're going to go ahead and I'm just using a 3-in-1 tool, and I'm going to get underneath it and just start working it off. You got to be real careful not to scrape into your rubber membrane, so you want to try to stay up on the plastic of the skylight for now. So we're gonna keep working this. Sometimes it all depends on how old this stuff is. Sometimes it flakes right off, and there's other times it's still pretty gummy. That comes off a little bit tougher, like we have here. But it's coming. It's just a little bit tedious. But you want to get this off so when you pull all the screws out, that lens will come loose. So we started doing this a little bit earlier, and I don't know if you can notice, but we're Well, we got a little overcast, so we had a little bit of a rain delay. I want to get this done because, like I said, it's leaking, so I don't want it to continue leaking. So we're going to go ahead and try to get this finished up today. So we're almost to the end there. Alright, so now we got all the screws. I already did the other side. So we're going to go ahead and start backing screws out. And again, this is also a number 2 square tip up here on the roof. Some of these screws, they may still have a little bit of putty left in them. You just got to push down on it a little bit. A little tip will go in there. It's up to you whether or not you want to reuse the screws or get new ones. These up here are pretty good. They're not rusted or anything. So I think I'll be able to reuse them without any trouble. Alright, that's the last of the screws. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to use a little pry bar. I'm going to get underneath this thing real carefully, not to tear up on the membrane. You can kind of see as you start to pull it, you can see that membrane wants to kind of come up with it. So once you get underneath it, you can use that tool to help hold it down. Just gotta keep working our way down this edge. Usually, once you get one side peeled loose, it should start to come up a little bit easier. There she goes. You can see how brittle this thing is. It's just falling apart right there where it was cracked. So, sun definitely does its job on it, that's for sure. Okay, you can see how it just kind of hinges up. Finish pulling this off. Alright, there's the old ones. Now what you want to do is try to clean off all the sealant, and then also where this sunroof actually sat down, there's what they call putty tape. You can see this is a little bit drier, but still flexible. So we're going to clean this all off real careful because you don't want to rip that rubber membrane. So you just want to take your time, just slowly work it off. You don't want to use anything real sharp either. This isn't very sharp, so we don't want to slice it. We just kind of want to keep working it. I find a little bit of a rolling technique works pretty good. All right, so we're gonna continue. We're gonna get this all cleaned up, and once I get it all cleaned up, we'll go with the installation of the new putty tape, and we'll show you that. Okay, well, Mother Nature's not working with us today. Even though the forecast showed a nice little clearing, she decided to give us some more rain. So anyway, I quickly finished getting it cleaned up. I put down the putty tape, one layer. You can see it underneath. You can see it kind of oozing out at each screw. So that's what you want. You want the putty tape all the way around, and you want to tighten down those screws just enough that that tape starts to ooze out. So you can see where the old self-leveling sealer was. So once it stops raining, we'll get this all dried off and cleaned up again, and put down that self-leveling sealer, and that'll take care of the outside. We'll get to that here as soon as Mother Nature is willing. Alrighty, so we got some sun coming back out, got everything dried off, cleaned back up again, and we're going to go ahead and put the self-leveling sealer on. As you can see, I've already got the putty tape and the new lens cover down and snugged up, so we're in good shape there. So let me show you the self-leveling sealer. You can get this at any RV supply store. You can order it online if you need to. It comes in a tube, and what you want to do is you want to cover up the screws is the main thing, and then get it out over the edge. So we're gonna just kind of run it right up and around. Make sure we get the edges out a little bit from the edge of the skylight around the screw. And here again, yeah, a little bit more doesn't hurt. You definitely don't want to have leaks. And I just kind of use the tip to kind of work it in so it definitely attaches to the rubber roof membrane. And this will kind of settle down as it sits for a little bit. Now, depending on the size of the skylight, it can take anywhere from 1 to 2 of these tubes. So a skylight this size probably is going to take 2, maybe not all of the second one, but it's going to be close. So we're going to keep on going around this skylight. Get this all covered up good. And our next step is going to be putting the inside cover back together. And we'll show you how to do that here in just a few minutes. Alright, so you can see got the self-leveling sealer all the way around, covered up all the screws, went out past the edge of the skylight and the putty tape to meet up with the rubberized roofing. So we're all sealed up, and this is going to continue to self-level, and it'll end up all smooth once it's all done. So we're going to go inside and start putting that back together. Alright, so you can see from the inside we've got the new cover on. Definitely a lot better than the other one. The one you couldn't even see out it. So now we're going to put the inside lens on and button it up. Alright, so pretty much the same way we took this down, we're going to put it back up. So we're going to hand start the screw so I know it's in the hole. We get a couple started here, make it a little easier. Now, being this is a little bit older, you definitely don't want to torque this too hard, because the plastic will definitely split. So you don't want to crack this thing all to pieces. So we're just going to snug them up. Doesn't have to be tight anyway. Oops. get this where you can see what's going on. All right. I'm gonna pop the rest of these in. All right, so there it is, all finished up, and it's as simple as that. Just takes a little bit of time, not too difficult, and hopefully y'all enjoyed it. I'm a little hot right now, so I'm gonna go take a little break, and we'll catch you on the next one. Thank you for watching. Please subscribe.